This is one of the key issues dominating the first day back. This comment that the Prime Minister made in his National Press Club speech yesterday, in which he expressed hope of achieving net zero emissions by 2050, the first time he's really set out that time frame. It follows a snub by world leaders at a climate summit in December and also coincides with a strong start by the Biden administration when it comes to climate action. But Scott Morrison is yet to commit to any kind of hard climate target, and at the traditional church service this morning marking the start of the new parliamentary year, he said he won't be doing that until the government knows exactly what the path to net zero looks like.
When I know how we can get there, then I can tell Australia when we're going to get there. Because if you don't get there by technology, you get there by taxes. And I will not make Australians pay higher taxes to get to net zero.
Laura, the 2050 target remains a divisive issue within the coalition. Many Liberal MPs support setting out a clear goal, while some Nationals MPs argue it'll be too expensive and will come at a high cost for farmers and the manufacturing sector.
In regional areas, we're very much focused on who actually pays for this pathway.
There's way too much focus in this country on what might or might not happen in 30 years' time, rather than dealing with the challenges we face right now.
I want to see, and our government wants to see, net zero emissions achieved by 2050 or earlier, but we know the most important question to answer is how are you going to do it?
And Laura, we know Labor has its own internal issues when it comes to the climate issue, particularly what kind of medium-term targets should be set and how ambitious they should be. But the opposition leader has continued to criticise the government's rhetoric on this, saying they're taking too long to actually commit to a hard 2050 target when most of the world has already moved.
And Scott Morrison needs to explain, and perhaps he did just then, how it is that his rhetoric that when Labor adopted net zero by 2050, it said it would have catastrophic economic consequences. Angus Taylor has repeatedly said there'll be a massive cost of it. And of course, all of that's nonsense. Moving to net zero emissions by 2050 will actually create jobs, as well as lowering emissions and lowering energy prices.
As well as climate policy, Labor will continue targeting the government over cutting off economic support payments next month, and also expected to go after the PM's refusal to rebuke Craig Kelly for sharing misinformation about COVID treatments on social media. Laura?
Indeed, Eliza, thank you. And the first question time of 2021 is just hours away. Tune in to Sky News from 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the parliamentary debate, live and in full.